You can't be in this space unless you're passionate about something, because people do their best work when they're really passionate about something.
Welcome to the podcast, where we introduce you to incredible humans who share their journeys with the mission to inspire you to harness your own inner tenacity to drive your life and career forward. And now, your host, Adam Posner.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on these two special episodes of the podcast recorded live on site in Minneapolis at Gary Vaynerchuk's first annual VEECON conference, all things Web3 and NFTs, on May 19th to 22nd. I recorded a ton of content and we did our best to put it into chronological order, as well as to share two different sides of the event in the Web3 world. The first, this one, will focus on the artist and the business of NFTs. And the second, what VeeFriends is all about, told through the lens of my microphone, if that makes sense. We also sprinkled in some candid moments captured at the event to give you a real feel of the magic that was in the air. What's up, everybody? It is almost 11 o'clock in the morning, Central Time here, touchdown in Minneapolis. This is Adam Posner reporting for the podcast here at VeeCon. Luckily, Chris and I checked in and our room is available, so we took the handicap accessible room. Hopefully no one needs it and they kick us out. But Chris, how was your flight?
My flight was stellar. I got a lot of work done, Adam, and it was really important work to get done on the flight here.
That's interesting. And I think you were telling me it was kind of funny that there was a lot of chit chatter on their NFT Bro Talk. What were you hearing there? Anything interesting?
One guy bought 100 books and he bought a bunch of VeeFriends. He sold them already. I'm like, why'd you do that? He's like, well, I wanted to, get some money now. I think they're going to go a little lower later.
V1 or V2?
Those are V2s. And he was right. They did drop a little bit.
They did drop it. I think they're going to pick up after this. So Chris and I are getting settled in here. We're going to go over to the stadium in about 5 minutes, get our credentials, our passes. I'm heading to the PR lunch with Gary V. And we'll see what happens. Check in with you later. First stop after getting into town and settled as a press event with Gary at FEMA's, a fantastic historical restaurant with great modern French Mediterranean fare. It was really good. And there's a unique, intimate experience with Gary and members of the press for some Q&A before the event even started. I also had a couple of minutes to catch up with him before the insanity started. So enjoy these two episodes.
The world is not or, it's and. My favorite thing is people. And why I love digital, unlike a lot of people who are like, digital's not real, you have to do it in person. I don't agree with that. I've built many relationships here through digital first as a gateway to then the physical. And so I believe in both. And so I definitely wanted to do a physical conference.
We returned to the room after the presser and we're about to head to the block party kickoff, but we're delayed by an insane hailstorm with golf ball sized pellets. I swear to God, you got to take a look at my Instagram. The pictures are there. And after the skies cleared, the sun came out, the air warmed up, and it was almost perfect timing to start the event at the Commons. And it was really incredible that there was an excitement. You could feel it in the air, the smell of food, the vendors, and the chatter of the attendees. I mean, there was like 5,000 people that converged, and people lined up for Gary's autograph booth. I mean, I'm not even shitting you guys. The line was like a mile around through the middle of the event, but you felt it and you felt the energy and everyone was happy to be there and connecting around this ethos around VeeFriends. So in no particular order, we're kicking things off with some artist interviews where I got to catch up with the creators behind all of the NFT and Web3 hype. First up, we got Thao NFT. Check this one out.
All right, we are back here at it works, I'm telling you, this works really well. We're back here at the block party. I'd love if you could introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Tao. I'm a 101 NFT artist.
And tell us a little bit about your project. I'm going to link everybody up to this when you guys see the show. I'll show you some of the cool shit she's doing.
So I have a couple collections. I have 7 total. 3 of them are sold out. And my current one I'm working on, I combine my love of animals and my signature ladies.
And you guys got to see this. It's absolutely stunning artwork. And who or what got you into the NFT world? Was there like one artist?
So I started off on Etsy. I did, custom family pet portraits. And then I ventured, somebody told me about NFTs. And so I did my research and something just clicked, like a light bulb went out. I was like, I'd be crazy not to get into this. Like, this is genius. Like, this is going to be groundbreaking. And so I did a shit ton of research and I just jumped in. I literally jumped in.
Would you say that NFTs have changed your life?
It changed my life. I mean, I'm at VEECON right now.
Oh, wow. And how has Gary V influenced your view, perspective, and strategy in the world of NFTs?
Honestly, what he does for other people and what he says, he has a way of condensing things to make it digestible for you. You know, it's like just drops of wisdom. And so he supported Sarah Bauman from Women and Weapons. And then she supported me.
It's amazing.
All it takes is one person believing you in the space. And that's how it happened. And it came full circle. And now I'm here at VEECON.
That is incredible. And where can folks find you? Where can they find your art?
So I'm on OpenSea and Foundation.
And say that name again so everyone knows where to find it.
So my Twitter is Thao, THAO_NFT.
And where can they find you on OpenSea?
On OpenSea, look up my name on Twitter. It has my link tree. It has all my links and everything.
And you can find that. Who are you most excited to hear speak at VEECON?
Oh my! Obviously Gary Vee and Randy Zuckerberg, because she's actually someone who purchased from me, so she has one of my pieces. So I'm really excited to see her speak and meet her for the first time.
And how old are your kids?
14 and 7.
And what do they think about their mom being a badass NFT creator?
They're like so proud. They say, "Oh yeah, my mom's she's an NFT artist. She's off, like going to work."
Are you the coolest parent in their school?
I would have to say so. I think so.
I love it. Thank you so much. Enjoy the conference.
Thank you.
While sitting in a car.
All right, what's up, everybody? We are at the block party here, and I'm with my dude
Jefferson.
And where are you from?
I'm from San Fernando Valley.
And what brings you out to VEECON?
I'm out here to take an adventure.
And tell us about your own VeeFriends collection, V1, V2. What do you got? What are you holding on to in your wallet?
Right now, the only thing I have in my wallet is a VEECON ticket.
So you do not have a VeeFriends, but what have you?
I wouldn't say that.
But what is it about this community that said, you know what, I'm going to get on a plane from Los Angeles to come all the way out to Minnesota and check this shit out?
I like going on adventures. It's not the first time I've done something like this.
Nice, man. And I'm assuming you took a look at the lineup. Who are you looking forward to seeing speak? No, you didn't.
I did not take a look at the lineup.
No, but that's part of the adventure, man.
Right. Let it go. You guys I'll take it as it comes, I guess, right? I'm sure they'll have like gems in there though. Information, thoughts, some information of some kind.
Well, I think you're going to learn a lot, man. Well, listen, good luck and enjoy it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And next I caught up with Stix, a.k.a. Steven Majikowski. I definitely butchered his name on that one, but he's awesome. An artist out of LA to talk about his projects, how Web3 is changing, and how he's able to create, and who he's looking forward to seeing, and hopefully catching up with him. I'm with my man Stix. Stix, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do best, man.
Yeah, man, my name's Stix. Real name Steven Majikowski. Everybody calls me Stix, from the Bay Area. I went to college for fine art, and now I'm just doing graphic design. I work with a lot of cool festivals, and now I'm kind of tapped in with the NFT community. And yeah, I'm helping out with the Subducks team and doing creative for them, and we're gonna be pushing a lot of dope merch. And yeah, man, I just like to draw cool shit and design and just create, constantly creating.
Did you ever think in your wildest dreams when you started, well, first let me ask you this, how old were you when you first started drawing and doodling and being creative?
Since I can remember, I was always loved drawing as a kid, and then I went to high school. I was doing a lot of art there. I was in studio art classes, and it just kind of like turned into a job. I was getting paid money to draw shit for people, and then I went to college for it, and then just turned into a full-time job, and now I'm just, rolling with it. It's been about a little bit over a decade now.
I love it. And what was your first venture into the NFT space? Tell us a little bit about your first experience. Were you scared, intimidated, excited? What was that all about? How did that have first? We talk a lot about everyone's first time, right? I think now the conversation around your first time with NFTs.
Nah, for sure. I definitely was skeptical. I didn't understand it. I still feel like I don't fully understand it, but I was skeptical in the beginning. And a good friend of mine, Tyler, who's also from the Bay Area, he runs all like the social and branding. He's like the face of Subducks, and he kept telling me, man, you got to come through. Like, your art is just too good. You'd blend right in with the team. So just come rock with us, try it out, do a little trial run, design some cool shit, and if you fuck with us, keep rocking. So I was definitely skeptical in the beginning, and now that I have more of an understanding of everything and how NFTs work, and I got a sense of the community here. The community is so tight here, bro. It's insane. Like,
I mean, look around.
It's nothing but support.
It's insanity.
Everybody is just a fan of each other, and there's no hate, there's no negativity. Everybody's just real positive, and that's exactly what I'm looking for in the stage of my career.
Did you know about when did you first learn about Gary Vee?
God, just on social media, I kept seeing him pop up everywhere. I'm like, who is this dude? Is he a motivational speaker? Is he a podcast guy? Is he a YouTuber? It was a while ago, probably 2016. I first started seeing him pop up. But it's crazy to be here, man. This event is insane.
Do you have any V friends in your collection?
I don't.
What are you doing here?
I just bought. So I have a total 6 NFTs. I got 3 astronauts, 3 Valfreys, and then I just bought my first Sup Duck. I've been waiting on it for a while, but I finally just bought my first Sup Duck yesterday.
I love it, man. Who are you excited to hear speak at the conference?
Well, Kevin Smith was just there. That was crazy.
I gotta go find him.
I want to see Pharrell really bad. I want to go tap in with him, and definitely just Gary Vee, of course.
Good stuff, man. Where can folks find you? Where can they find your art?
Yeah, my artwork's on my Instagram. It's Stix, Stix. I'm not really on Twitter, but my website is Work with Stix, and I do everything for Rolling Loud, Soul Bloom, Lost in Rhythm, Kaylani, Sup Ducks. So you'll see me around.
Good stuff, Stix. Thanks for joining me.
Appreciate you, bro.
One of the wonderful things about events like this is the organic coming together of incredible people connected by common threads. And our eventual all-weekend crew assembled at the end of the kickoff, and we walked over to Manny's Steakhouse for a fantastic dinner. And I thought, what better time than now to pull out my mic? So sitting to my right was my soon-to-be weekend best friend, accomplished artist Blake Jameson, and his girlfriend Meg Zaney, an LA-based street-turned-NFT artist. And across from me was my other new bestie, Jen Styles, VP and head of comms at One Of, our fantastic sponsor for this episode and the next one. And I handed over the controls to Jen as she interviewed Meg, who gave us an insider look at a creator quite literally being liberated from her corporate 9-to-5 by the power of NFTs. Check this one out.
What are you working on?
I probably have 4 different NFT projects happening right now. The first is my Genesis collection, which is my art over the last 6 years that happened all around the world. I have 360 photos whittled down from 50,000 photos. 50, comma.
What was that process like?
I was probably up for 36 hours thumbing through my iPhone of just whittling shit out. It was by city, it was by month, it was just, so I have 30 folders.
What's your favorite city to produce street art?
That's really hard. That is a very, very hard question. The one that pops up in my head is Lyon, France, which is nowhere anyone has ever heard of. But that piece that I put up probably got photographed more than any of my other pieces.
We're now going to pause for a plate change here on the podcast. This is the podcast halftime plate change, and we get back to Meg and Jen.
So that was me paired with, so I always do sayings paired with lively images. One was me in with a spray can, and it says, "You are the victim of your own rules," which I believe that we all set up our own rules and we abide by all of them. And so, I can lay 7 other pictures or favorite places that I've had, but we'll just let that one fly as my favorite tonight.
So, all right, talk to me about being a female artist in not only the street art space, but the NFT space.
For sure. It was really hard because when I started hitting the streets, I was fully anonymous. And that was a really big thing, was okay, do I want to keep being anonymous?
She said, why are you anonymous?
I was anonymous because I liked the idea of having notoriety based off of my art alone. And then there was something that switched in my head where I was like, I have to hit the streets for not only the fact that I'm a woman doing badass shit, but other women do badass shit together. And so that was a light switch where I was all in for myself and for women as a collective. And has it done me a service or a disservice? We don't really know yet. We're still fighting this fight.
So where was your first anonymous street art experience, and were you scared?
I don't really have a lot of fear. I was super pumped on the adrenaline rush, I think. It was downtown LA in the Arts District. It was someplace that I had always ridden my bike because I lived downtown. And I knew what spot I wanted to hit. I knew what 3 spots I wanted to hit that night. Oh yeah, I just already knew. It's been in my blood for a very long time. Like street art has been in my blood for forever, I would say. Well, I was a fan much more than I was, someone that was like, oh, I'm gonna do street art. Like that wasn't a thing until I met another street artist, and they were like, oh wait, but you like street art, you do art, why aren't you in the streets? And I was like, I'm just not good enough, I don't know. And they're like, fuck that, like get in the streets.
What helped you flip the switch and change your narrative?
I wanted it. I was working in the corporate world. I hated it. I was searching for a job change, and it was my fellow artist friend who was like, "Yeah, get after it. Like, do it." And I that was my main goal through that transition, through that lull, through that like being in the gutter of life. I was like, well, fuck it. Any door that opens up, I'm going to throw myself through it. And I did. And then that's when I hit the streets for the very first time. My piece, the first piece I did was 4 feet by 8 feet. And the person that I was with was like, wait, inches? I was like, no, feet.
Oh, beautiful. I'm so inspired by you, and I can't wait to watch what's next?
What's next for Meg?
There's a lot of NFTs. It's art all day. There's so much going on. Yeah.
I know you have an exciting project, so everybody better stay tuned.
Thank you. Thanks, Jen.
And now for our main course.
The next new V friend we ran into was Mike O'Day from one of my favorite project, Knights of DGen, and he is on the round table there. And someone that I had a chance to hang out with the night before and all weekend long, quickly aligned with him, and he's freaking awesome. I can't wait to see him and hang with him in New York NFT Week coming up soon. And he really blurs the lines between the creative and the business spaces. And he did me a solid of putting me on to our next guest. I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but we'll get to that in a minute. Here's my chat with Mike.
For those who know, I am involved lately with the Knights of DGen with my buddy Drew Austin, and I have another. Are you on the round table?
Yeah.
Why don't you introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey, Mike O'Day. Do a little bit of everything, mixing the creativity and business and technology. That's why NFTs are so amazing home for me, because it's the best of both. Yeah, it's like I have such range of kind of where I contribute and what I lean into. So,
what was your first NFT that you purchased?
Zen NFT, the Bonsai project. I still love it. It'll run at some point. It's like it's been like 0.1 just like forever. Like it was like right before. I think it was maybe like a month before Bored Apes, and it's funny because it's like the same crew who like kind of leaned in and bought like that project, bought like Bonsai project, and then like one runs and one doesn't. It's like it's dope. It's like it's an AR. It's an AR focused like art, right? And it's cool. I love that they're still they've still been building over the course of this year, even without like crazy running, right? So I love projects like that.
Well, the thing I love most about Knights is utility, and people throw the word utility around all the time. I mean, I personally don't think every project has to be utility, especially if it's like real art, like one-on-ones doesn't need utility. People collect that
the
too.
Art is the utility,
right? But Knights utility. We talk about. You're literally wearing your DGen football team shirt here, which is the craziest. Tell everyone who's not really familiar what the Fan Controlled Football League is and how Knights got involved.
Yeah, so we've kind of built out a structure to have like different pods, different committees, different like project kind of within this overarching ecosystem, and one of which is like Fan Control Football. So it's a startup football league. It has some really, really awesome people involved, some former NFL players, Johnny Manziel, rumors Mike Vick's playing next week.
What?
Yeah, that just dropped yesterday.
Alpha right here on the podcast.
There's a handful of other like NFL players, but it's like high quality football, 7-on-7, where the fans pick the plays. So it's like then there's NFTs involved in the league. It's kind of like the ownership level of who controls the team. How do you draft the players? Because there's weekly drafts too. So it's like just very interactive.
Well, that's what's so crazy too. The fans call the plays. I want everyone to check this out.
This special VEECON coverage episode of the podcast is brought to you by our friends over at OneOf. Deeply committed to a sustainable blockchain future, OneOf is an NFT platform that supports NFTs on multiple energy-efficient blockchains to create sustainable, creator, and fan-friendly experiences. Minting an NFT on OneOf's platform uses up to 2 million times less energy than proof of networks, and for its users, purchasing NFTs costs $0 in blockchain gas fees. OneOf aims to bring the next 100 million non-crypto native fans into Web3 by removing the technical frictions and allowing fans to pay for their NFTs with credit and debit cards, as well as all major cryptocurrencies. Committed to diversity, over 80% of the collections featured on OneOf come from minority or female creators. In addition, OneOf donates portions of proceeds from every NFT collections to its artist and athlete partners' preferred charities. For more, please check out oneof.com. Thanks.
Mike, who are you excited to hear speak this? Or who did you find this weekend? Who got you excited? Somebody new.
MegZ is an artist. He's not speaking, but he's amazing. He just walked by us, but that's genuinely my answer. He's like someone.
Was he hanging out with us last time?
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with him prior to this weekend. I should be. He's legendary in the art space,
and he's fucking cool to hang out with.
Dude, he's like the dopest person. He's just like fun and funny, and like those are
cool outfits.
Those are my favorite interactions. Is where people are like doing awesome things, but that's not why you want to connect with them and interact with them. They're just genuinely like really good people.
Like people say this shit all the time. Most of it, like everyone I've met in this space, is just nice and cool and generous and caring.
Yeah, and there's plenty of scummy people, but what's great is like it's easy to filter out, and then once you find people who are genuine and trying to build and help each other and work together and make an impact, they kind of like find each other, right? So then as you kind of get into that one group, it's like then in the groups where it's those like-minded people, near 100% of people are like that in those pockets. But like this Web3 space, I mean, I've pre-NFT stuff, pre-Web3 stuff, I was pretty deep in a lot of different industries, right? Like I was consulting for like early stage companies. That's what I loved. And like all different types of businesses and from frontier tech stuff to like deep fashion to media, sports, health and wellness, law, finance, like
you're in everything.
Yeah. And I've never met a space of people that is like this helpful, this exciting, this awesome.
Smart.
Like friendships are being made. And all the smartest people I know from all those other worlds have like found themselves here now working on stuff.
But it's interesting too. Like I think another word that people throw around is community. It's like a fucking buzzword du jour. Again, like what's your take on community? What really defines a true community?
Yeah, I think like you anchored to before on utility. It's like it's just easy to say, oh, utility, oh, community, but it's like a lot of times it's empty and there's no substance behind it, right? So like both those things, if they're real, are incredibly powerful. But most times people just throw it around, and it's like, what does that really mean? A lot of times in the NFT world, it's like people are like our community, but really the only thing that bonds them is like hopefully this price goes up. But like if you have some sort of shared interest, shared values, you like conversing with people, friendships are being formed, you want to help each other, you want to see each other win, you like want to like work together and collaborate and be cooperative with each other. That's community, right? And it's like a place that you go for comfort or excitement or fun or learning and advancement and growth, whatever that means to your given situation, right?
Mike, final thought here. What tip would you give for anybody who's looking to dip their toes into a project? They got their wallet set up, they got a little bit of ETH, some crypto in there. What advice would you give someone to really pick a project?
I think you could pick a project, and the first one you pick might not be the right one, right? But I think like trying to participate and understand, getting more context and just getting more experience and exposure, wherever that is, like you find a little thread of like, ooh, this is interesting, follow that, and lean in and like say, hey, how can I help? How can I be involved? And like you don't have to say that out loud, but like ask yourself that. And then it's like, ooh, this, like, you'll find your home that like makes sense, right? So I think it doesn't have to be your first thing that you find, but just like keep searching and experiment and figure out like your place, because there's truly a place for everyone. And I think like in the vast landscape of the world and the internet, like I think it'll be easier and easier and easier for people to find their place where they can both like contribute and have fun. So
I love it. Mike, where can folks find you? Where can they connect with you?
It's Mike O'Day on Instagram and Twitter. I usually have to spell it out because it's actually like it's. So I'm like, when someone's like, what's your Instagram? I'm like, ITS Mike O'Day.
It's Mike O'Day, everybody. It is 2:45 here in Minneapolis on day 3. I feel good. I just had my Gary mini interview. It was awesome. And
what's your biggest takeaway from the week?
Oh, geez, there is a real energy, and people fucking say that like. You feel it, you see it, especially in this room that we're in right now. We're down in the Coinbase Lounge underneath the stadium. I mean, it's a who's who. It's like a fucking all-star game of Web3 down here. Jimmy the Pencil's in the house over here. Jimmy's the man.
That's such a great nickname.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, really fun.
Characters were certainly a theme at VEECON, and none bigger and more eccentric in the best way, and a true artist, MegZ Jen, aka Mark, another amazing member of our weekend crew. And we were able to grab him for a quick minute, and I was zonked at this point. So I said, Mike, you want to take the mic? Here you go, man. Why don't you have this chat with Mark? So here you go is a rare Paz fan-led interview. Mike O'Day and MegZ Jen. Enjoy it.
Hey, Mike O'Day here with MegZ Jen. Mr. Mark, the legend himself. How you doing? How's your day been?
Day is awesome. We have been treating ourselves pretty nicely today. Watched a couple of speakers. Just watched Baron Davis. Big fan. Just met him too, which was super cool. Doing good.
So you're somewhat of a icon in the art space, the old traditional art space. You've done some really, really impressive, awesome things, and you're about to drop your first ever NFT collection. How do you feel about that transition, and like what kind of like led you to down that path to like, hey, now's the time to like make that happen?
For me, so the project I'm dropping, PFP project, they're called the Weenimals. They were characters that I was creating in my fine art over 20 years ago. So for me, it felt like technology actually caught up to the art that I was creating. So
you were the original PFP guy.
I mean, I don't want to claim it, but it was something.
Call me that.
I was doing it subconsciously, so it was almost like I watched it, I embraced the culture, I bought NFTs, I've traded NFTs, so it's like it took maybe about a year for me just to like see what was happening. It's like, okay, now's the time. Like now's the time to do, I just want to make dope shit.
That's awesome, and I mean it's admirable that you're like that you have the platform that you do, and you're like, let's fucking rock in this new space, this new medium. Going back like to you starting to collect, like how did you kind of think about the space? What triggered in your mind where you're like, oh, this is significant, this is real, for you to even participate on that level, not as an artist, but just as a collector, as an enthusiast?
For me, Takashi Murakami brought me in. Knowing he's a traditional artist, I respect him. The Clone X project, and I was like, connected to Takashi. I actually really like the 3D look. I was like, I want that. So for me, I almost felt like that was a perfect bridge because it was a fine artist mixed with Web3 space. So it was perfect. And since I've had it, the thing keeps times Xing. They're like airdropping stuff. So that's the best project I own. It was the first project I bought too.
Amazing. Taking it back a bit to your own journey. I love people's genesis, right? Now art is a little bit in vogue. Someone's like, hey, I'm going to pursue art. It's like, oh, of course you are, because here's the path that we're going to do. You rewinding 25 years. What led you to be have the confidence to be hey, this is a path that is actually I can do?
Honestly, I'm scared as hell. There is the confidence. So for me, it's I feel like my art's great. The project's great.
25 years ago.
To be an artist? Yeah, Holy shit, I never did. So it took me 10 years of being an actual artist, and that was my career, to actually call myself an artist. It was embarrassing. You're on a plane, so he's like, what do you do? And I'm like, I would never say artist. I'd say graphic design or something, because there's no one's an artist. There's probably more professional athletes, basketball players, football players, than an artist. So that was
25 years ago.
Yeah, back then. So yeah, now everybody's an artist. So that was like, for me, I remember the day that I said I was an artist, and I was like, motherfucker, I made it. Like, I made it.
What was that day? Do you remember that moment?
Oh, I remember that moment. I was on the plane. That's what I'm saying. And I was sitting in business class, and this guy he was a producer for The Matrix or something, and he's telling me about this. He's like, what do you do? I was like, I'm a motherfucking artist. And like, he's like, sick, let's work together.
And what gave you the confidence to say that? Like, what was that moment that you definitely internalized that before you said it out loud, right? So was it something external that kind of happened? Or
it was spontaneous. It was like, my biggest fear is flying. So it's almost like I think I'm going to die. And I was almost like, I wanted to like go down as an artist. And I remember there was like crazy turbulence. So I was like, dude, if I'm going to die today, like I'm going out as an artist.
So we just met yesterday, and I feel like we become fast friends. What's like
brothers hug
in this journey that you've had that from the limited stories I've heard is super awesome. What's like one of the more surprising like moments for you thinking back, and you're like, it just makes you smile?
Bill Murray posed for me in the nude so I could paint his portrait.
Wait. Podcast exclusive. Say that again.
Bill Murray posed for me in the nude so I could paint his portrait.
You got to give us a little alpha on that. What was that like?
So he has a hotline, like a 1-800 number. This is years ago. I've been knowing him for over 20 years. So he has a hotline. My friend, he shot him as a photographer, had shot him. He's like, so there was a Bill Murray show going down in Los Angeles, and the theme was Bill Murray. And I was like, damn, I knew my friend just shot Bill. I was like, can I get him to pose for a portrait? And I thought it'd be funny that he posed in the nude. So I got the phone number, left a message like, hey, Bill, this is Mad Steez. Wonder if you could like pose nude just to like throw him off. You know, like, fuck, maybe he would. I didn't think he'd respond. It probably took about like 5 days. And I got a number, like a random number, I think it was like 619. It was San Diego. And I knew he was from San Diego. And I had like, nobody was calling me from San Diego. Answered it. And he's like, time, place, tell me where to be. And like, and I knew it was his voice, like instantly. So he hangs up the phone. He probably said 4 words, like just said all that shit. Sent it. I'm there waiting in my studios in Costa Mesa, is where my studio was then. And waiting to the time. He's basically like on the dot, gets there, comes in like a big SUV. He's driving himself, shows up in a purple robe, like, and I paint all purple, so it's kind of funny, like dark maroon purple.
He did his research.
He walks in, and he's like, I forgot, he's like, where's the bathroom or something? I didn't even say anything, like points to the bathroom. He walks in, comes out naked, has the thing like this. I probably took 4 actual photos of him, puts his shit on, leaves. He didn't even say anything else, nothing.
Did he respond to the final product?
So it ended up being on the news. I have photos like every news station. There's like newscasters standing in front of it. He's naked, obviously. It's huge. It's like 10 foot by 5 feet. It's a fucking thick gold frame. He was supposed to come. He knows about it because I know his agent, something, whatever. But he's elusive. Bill does what he wants to do. If everyone said he was coming, he was going to come, but he didn't come. But he knows it exists.
That is a really, really awesome story. And just to wrap it up here, let's bring it back to NFT and Web3 stuff and stuff that you're doing forward. Like, what are you most excited about? Like as you see how the space is evolving and opportunity for yourself and like other artists similar to you.
For me, I'm excited for everyone to own my art. So that's why the number is 8,444. I make 10 paintings a year. I make 10 murals a year. So the access to my art is very small. I do some prints, it's like 100. So now 8,000 people can own my art. To me, that's huge. Everyone can own what I am. And I feel like my art is me.
And you is awesome. Like you're full of joy and awesome energy, and here everyone's seeing it. So we're feeling it, and we're excited for more people to own it and be part of you and your art and what that means.
Let's fucking go.
Hey guys, so it is, what time is it now? It is 8:30 in the morning. We're about an hour away, and I'm with 2 podcast alumni, Heather Parady and Andy Storch. And Andy is rocking his, what are you rocking here?
My Gift Goat hoodie. This was gift number 2 from Gary Vee.
Look at that. Heather, why don't you have anything?
I am rocking my Forever 21 denim jacket. Fire.
I love it. And aside from Gary, who are you excited to hear speak today?
I'm excited to see Jim Quick, who's on early. And I want to see Tom Bilyeu and see what he has to say. I don't know if he's today. but he's definitely up there.
What about you, Heather?
Deepak Chopra. I cannot wait to get my meditation and Zen on in here.
And I love that there's a mix between Web3 and kind of entrepreneurial, inspirational, motivational. The curation is awesome here. How was that mansion party last night?
The mansion party was really cool, high end, lots of great people there. I mean, the people we talked to, so like kind and connecting and just like supportive. It was really fun.
Heather, what are your observations of the crowd so far?
I'm just here for the food, but it's been good. People are all right.
I'm here for the free muffins. All right, day one, here we go.
And now to our main event. I was fortunate to have a proper interview with Scott Lawin, the CEO over at Candy Digital, one of the core sponsors. And they have major partnerships with the major sports leagues and some other super cool projects. I enjoyed our candid conversation about NFTs, Web3, and hiring in this new frontier. So without further ado, CEO of Candy Digital, Scott Lawin.
Good morning, everybody. It is day 3, I think, and I apologize in advance for my voice. I've been screaming, yelling, having a good time here, but we're starting the day off with the CEO of Candy Digital, Scott Lawin. Scott, how are you doing this morning?
I am doing great, Adam. Thanks so much.
I think you're doing a little bit better than me today, who's trying to get my voice back, considering this is what I'm here for. So all my listeners, you'll just have to deal with it today. Scott and his team have built a pretty incredible activation here. We'll take some pictures later. We'll link it up when we do the show. Tell us a little bit about Candy, what you guys do.
So Candy Digital, next generation digital collectibles company. We started Candy about a year and a half ago. Gary V, Mike Novogratz from Galaxy Digital, and Michael Rubin were our founding board members. The idea of Candy was really to bring the next generation of collectibles to everyday fans. We are the official partner of Major League Baseball, of NASCAR racing teams, of WWE. And we recently announced our new partnership with Getty Images. And so we're super excited about the future of Web3 and blockchain and NFTs. And we're focused on taking that technology to the everyday fan and consumer.
I absolutely love it. I grew up as a huge baseball card fan. I'm a huge Mets fan. I love collecting baseball cards. And there was a lull. I mean, I am... Not to date myself, I was born in the 79, so I was in that golden era of baseball card collecting, and then it kind of faded a bit. Is this the golden renaissance of collectibles?
It's a great question. I think we're at the early days of the next generation of collectibles. Just like you, me, myself, and everyone at the company, we're all fans and collectors, right? We grew up the same way, whether it's sports cards, whether it's artwork, whether it's He-Man action figures. Everybody has a passion about some content, some story. And so what we're super excited about at Candy is using the technology, using NFTs, certainly to create the next generation of collectibles that will be valuable over time, but really to create things that connect people to the stories that they love, right? Being a collector is about your identity as a fan. It's about your connection to that community. It's about your passion. And that's what we're focused on at Candy.
That's absolutely tremendous. How'd you guys get hooked up with Gary?
So when we put the business together, we kind of came at it from the blockchain side. We said, okay, we see the world of cryptocurrency and DeFi. We see this path to a future of decentralized ownership and the future of money. What is really the way that we're going to get there? And when we look at the existing technology, as amazing as it is, it's still challenging to set up a digital wallet. It's still confusing to people to decide, how do I fund that with crypto? It's education, exactly. And so we said, listen, we're going to put a business together to focus on consumers, to focus in the sports space, billions of customers, passionate fans, a sports collectibles business, and who are the people that own that space, right? So if you think about Gary has been the man, right?
For his whole life, that's how he started selling baseball cards. Exactly.
In the card business, he was early to understand the power and the potential of NFTs, and so it was natural to reach out to him. And when we gave him the thesis of what we were doing, he was super stoked.
And that's incredible. Who are your prime customers these days from an age and demographic standpoint?
So we think about our customers kind of 3 different categories. We think about obviously the crypto native community, right? We're bringing them their passion for Web3 and their passion for sports and entertainment, and that's Nirvana. They're our core customers. We then think about kind of our digital native community, millennials and Gen Zs, to make it easy, right? They're already on this digital journey. Whether they own a crypto asset or not, this is where the world is going for them. And so we're kind of meeting them where they're at. And then our third customer base is the everyday fan, right? And for most of those folks, this is their first experience with the world of Web3, right? They're buying an NFT, and they're just learning about this whole world. So when we break that down, our customer base skews younger, it skews more male, right? So call it 18 to 36. But it's diverse. We've got a lot of women. We have people of color who are part of it. And ultimately, we want to extend this to every fan.
And what are you guys doing initiative-wise to bring in the younger generation, the future collectors, reinvigorating, maybe tapping into their parents' love and passion? I mean, what's the plan there to bring in the next generation of collectors?
So it's really about education, as you said. We're going directly to the fans at the stadium now. We just launched a new product, which is our digital ticket product. So starting with the Cubs this week, Chicago Cubs, every fan that goes to a Cubs game will get a free digital commemorative ticket, right? And so that cuts across every single fan.
It's funny, I'm a huge Mets fan, but Wrigley's on my list of stadiums that I need to get to. What would you say is the biggest hurdle right now from your CEO point of view in NFT adoption?
I think it's really about helping people understand that this isn't just about pulling a digital lottery ticket, right? It really is about connecting people to their team, their player, their sport, their community in a way that enhances that experience. And so, for example, our collectible card product, which we call our Icons, that's a MLB player-based card, has dynamic statistics. So if you're a Fernando Tatis fan, every time you open up your Icon, his batting average, his home runs, his bases stolen update, right?
Well, unless he's on the injured list like he is a lot, right?
Fair enough.
But it kind of stays stagnant for a little bit. No, we love you.
But that's the idea, right? Is that that these assets, certainly they're great collectibles that represent the things you love, but they also have real utility and value in different ways.
Well, it's interesting too. You bring up the word utility, and I think utility is subjective. I believe that not every project has to have a utility, but when the word utility gets thrown around a lot, how do you define utility?
So we think about, to break it down simply, is there's value exchange in buying something. Doesn't matter if it's an NFT, doesn't matter if it's a t-shirt, whatever it is. Sometimes that's economic value exchange, sometimes that's entertainment value, sometimes that's community value, and sometimes that's just personal and emotional value. All those things become utility, right? It doesn't mean that it has to necessarily get you into a private Discord server or, win you tickets to the game. Right. People define utility in different ways.
Oh, I absolutely love it. And to get a little bit personal, tell us about your own NFT collection. What's in your wallet? Wait, am I allowed to say that? Was that Discover card? Who did that? What's in your wallet, Scott?
Well, my background tends to be, I'm a huge sports fan. It tends to be more art-based. So I come from kind of an art community, in particular, sort of street art and photography. And so most of the NFTs that I've collected, certainly I own everything from candy and other things in the sports space, but it tends to be focused more around the artists that I've loved and followed and kind of their journey into Web3.
Let's get a little alpha here. Who are you following right now that's super hot from a street art perspective in the NFT world?
Wow. It's early days, but I would say AdFuel is one of my favorite artists. He's a Portuguese artist, just did a great NFT version of his work. Vils is another great artist in the space. MegZ is putting a new generative art collection out through Henny. So there's a lot of great stuff happening.
And a side note too, Portugal has some of the best street art in the entire world. I urge everybody to get out there. Take a little curveball, a little different direction here. How has hiring been for you, specifically for the Web3 roles versus, listen, you're an experienced executive, you've hired for many years and interviewed. How has that changed when it comes to a lot of these Web3 roles?
Well, so, when you build a new business, the first thing you'd say is like, okay, how do we find people who've been doing this for 10 years? That doesn't exist. Right?
No. There's no experts in this space. Solidity, Rust, whatever you're building, all your smart contracts, but there are transferable skills, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, not to use an overused meme, right? We're looking for great athletes. And so what we find is we're super fortunate to find people who have great experience in their careers, in their space, not necessarily in Web3, but are excited about it, are curious, approach their work with integrity, and want to build together in the future. And so, we think about our customer base. The sports cuts across every demographic, right? Gender, race, creed, religion, belief, whatever it is. And so we think that our team at Candy, to do our job well, we need to build a team that represents all those opinions and all those experiences. And so we've been really, really lucky to find people who aren't Web3 experts yet, but are early in the space, super excited to build and want to create a new brand.
And that's really the right attitude here. And any company that's really trying to find the experts, they're going to have a hard time of it. What's a go-to kind of top secret Scott Lawin interview question? Let's get some real alpha here and drive some, what's your go-to? Listen, by the time someone gets to you, in most cases, they have the skill set, the experience, and they're coming to you to make sure that they're not an asshole. But how do you determine that?
My key question is just asking people, what is their passion, right? Because you can't be in this space unless you're passionate about something. It doesn't matter to me if you have a particular NFT project that you're passionate about. I just want to know what gets people excited, because people do their best work when they're really passionate about something, right? When it doesn't feel like work. And so that's what I look for.
That's absolutely awesome. So aside from Gary Vee, who are you excited to hear speak this weekend?
Listen, I'm excited to hear from Guy Oseary. I love, obviously what he's been doing in the space and sort of his vision for, what's been happening with Yuga. I was excited yesterday to hear Steve Aoki. We're good friends with Steve. I think Steve is at a really, fascinating nexus of art and music and collectibles, right? He brings a lot of passion and a lot of experience and community to the space. I'm Deepak Chopra, is an incredible guy. I'd love to, I'm excited to kind of hear about how he thinks about what's happening in this whole world.
That's fantastic. Scott, summer plans?
Summer plans, working, man. This is we're in the building phase now, right? This sort of reset in the market, I think, gives us all an opportunity to kind of, reset a little bit, focus on what's next. And, for companies like Candy, we actually view this as a good thing. Things are getting a little crazy. We haven't been building for the next 6 months. We've been building for the next 10 years. And so that's what we're focused on.
Well, it's interesting. I wasn't even planning on talking about it, but you brought it up. Do you think a lot of companies were reactionary and kind of binged on spending during the bubble, and now it's coming to kick them in the ass?
Listen, I've been saying for the last 9 months, particularly in the sports space, what we were seeing didn't make a lot of sense. The deals that were getting done, the economics that were getting thrown around, incredibly competitive, at a level that was hard to justify. And so, but that said, I said, I could be wrong. I don't know.
Could be something. It could be probably nothing, right?
Exactly. And so, we have been conservative in our approach because we just know that, we're 100% convinced on where the world is going. But we think it's going to take time. And we think you have to approach the everyday customer and the everyday fan the right way. You just can't dump stuff on them.
That's tremendous. And Scott, last but not least, what is the single greatest piece of advice you've ever received that you take action on daily? Could be a mantra or something when you wake up in the morning.
Again, this is one that isn't too revolutionary, but it's just be your authentic self. And I'll tell you, in my career, I've gone through times where I thought I needed to be somebody else, right, to do the job or to get the deal. And 9 times out of 10, that doesn't work. It might work in the short term. It doesn't work in the long term. And so best piece of advice is just be who you are, right? Focus on the things you care about, the things you're excited about. And that works out in the long time every time.
I love it. Scott, thanks so much for joining me. Everyone check out Candy Digital. And that will wrap up the first part of my exclusive podcast coverage. Make sure you tune into part 2 as I introduce you to what VeeFriends is all about. And be sure to check out pics from the event on my Insta at NHP Talent. Thank you so much for joining us. And you know where to find out more at thepodcast.com. Take care, everybody.
Wisdom is forever, but for us, it's time to go. Thank you for joining us. Luckily, we'll be back with our next episode soon, jam-packed with more incredible humans. Thank you for listening, subscribing, and sharing. To join the conversation, search the podcast on LinkedIn. And to catch up on past episodes and more info, please visit www.thepodcast.com.